Right now on Denver 7 News at 6 a.m. A new lead in the search for a man connected to a deadly church shooting.
I'm Denver 7's KRISTIan Lopez. Police say they now have a suspect, but they need your help finding him.
Plus, drama in Douglas County boils over after the school board fires the superintendent.
I want it fixed. I want answers.
We voted for change.
The walkout plan today to protest the decision.
And the Olympics are underway, but it was a disappointing start for Colorado's Michaela Schifrin.
Such a bummer there.
It was.
You know, she's hard on herself, but she's going to have several more opportunities to win. That's the good news.
Yeah.
Good morning. I'm Nicole Brady.
And I'm Brian Sanders. And after a beautiful weekend, we're going to see more warm temperatures to start the week. A lot of sunshine, Lisa.
It's been getting a little warmer each and every day. Today we're going to see highs right around 50, and you're right, clear skies this morning. Lots of sunshine in store. Get ready for a really bright eastbound drive on this Monday morning drive. Here's a look at your wake-up forecast. We're in the 20s right now. We'll be likely right around freezing by 7 o'clock, and then we'll climb well above normal this afternoon. Normal high is 44. We're going to be at right around 48 to near 50 by late afternoon, so some really pretty conditions. Here's a look at those highs. Denver 50, Boulder 48, upper 20s and low 30s in the mountains this afternoon, so statewide some nice and mild conditions. Now coming up, it is going to get actually a little bit warmer later this week. We also have a chance for a little snow. We're tracking 2 weak cold fronts. I'll show you when those are going to hit coming up.
And right now the weather is really helping out the drive, especially through the neighborhoods where it's turning to more slush than a lot of ice and snow cover across your roadways. Take you to a couple different camera views. One up in Broomfield. You can see from the camera at 120th and Main that it looks pretty dry for us. Still some icy spots through the neighborhoods and obviously on the sidewalks and maybe on some of the transitions, but for the most part it looks pretty good. And you can see that also on I-25 here at 84th on that southbound side. You see a collection of headlights. It's a lot of lights here as that traffic volume really increases, but the traffic volume is not slowing us down too terribly much just yet on 270 or I-25, but it is starting to build for us here this morning in some of those usual spots, but nothing else major going on for us right now.
We have some breaking news out of the business world this morning. Denver-based Frontier Airlines will merge with Spirit Airlines. The $3 billion merger between the budget carriers will create the 5th largest airline in the country. Frontier employs about 2,000 people in the Denver metro, and it says the merger will provide 1,000 daily flights, 650 nonstop routes, and serve more than 145 destinations. Well, students in Douglas County will take a stand today after school board members voted to fire Superintendent Corey Wise.
Denver 7's Colette Bordelon joins us this morning from Highlands Ranch. And Colette, there's a walkout plan this afternoon.
Yeah, that's right. We watched as teachers walked out last week. Today, it's going to be students skipping here at Cresthill Middle School just after 1 today in support of former Superintendent Corey Wise. The district is divided over his firing. Wise had spent more than 2 decades with the district. A little less than a year of that was in his superintendent position. The school board has 4 newly elected members who hold a conservative majority, after the other members claimed the new ones were trying to secretly force out Wise. On Friday, in a rare school board meeting, the group split along party lines, voted to fire the now former superintendent. The district is looking for a permanent replacement. Many are frustrated with the decision, saying Wise clearly cares about the students and teachers, but there are others who support the move to fire Wise, starting a petition online to show the 4 new members they back their decision.
But this is about feeling like we wanted change. We wanted these 4 candidates, and we want our voices heard. And when the actions of the past several days have happened, it feels like my vote is being taken away.
That would be my biggest hope, is that this no longer becomes an us versus them or a new versus old. Instead, it's how can we come together and remember why we're all here.
So you just heard from a parent and a teacher on both sides of the issue. A student from Cresthill Middle who's been making signs for the walkout this afternoon says the school board has gotten too political, stemming from debates on things like masks.
All I know is that I want my education, and I'm very disappointed with the recent actions that have been taken. It's kind of disappointing here that we're not focusing on our education, and that's the thing that matters to me the most.
In a rare move, more than 50 former and current school board directors across Colorado wrote a letter in support of former Superintendent Wise. Their biggest concern is the way his firing was handled. Live in Highlands Ranch, Colette Portal, Denver 7.
Yeah, been with the district for more than 2 decades, Colette, and there could be a ripple effect. The president of the Teachers Union, Douglas County Federation, warns a high percentage of staff might leave because of the board's decision to fire Superintendent Wise. He says there's already a nationwide and statewide shortage of educators, and it won't bode well for Douglas County schools. Meanwhile, a lawsuit was filed against the 4 new members of the school board on Friday, accusing them of violating open meeting laws. With the discussions leading up to Wise's termination during Friday's board meeting, members said they had never met privately as a group.
Take a look at your screen this morning. Aurora police need help finding this man. They think he is responsible for a deadly shooting at a church on Friday night. Denver 7's Christian Lopez joins us, and Christian, police say the suspect knew one of the victims.
He did. Police say that he had a relationship with one of the victims, but when we pressed them on that, they wouldn't tell us which one or how he knew them. This shooting happened Friday evening at a service at Iglesia Faro de Luz Church. As many as 20 people were inside the church when Montoya Villa opened fire. A 36-year-old woman died on the scene, and pastors, both men, 42 and 40 years old, were rushed to the hospital, but police say they'll pull through. The church is in a business park, and word of what happened quickly spread over the weekend.
I feel bad because you don't want that to happen to anyone. Sometimes we're here working in this area until late. And these kind of stuff, events happening here, it makes you worry, you know what I mean?
Police will be reviewing surveillance video and collecting forensic evidence from the scene, but right now the big priority is getting the suspect off the street. And you can share his picture through our Denver 7 Plus app. There is a $2,000 award for the tip that helps get him into custody. I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
Very concerning. Thank you, Christian. The topic of homelessness will be back in the spotlight at tonight's Aurora City Council meeting. Mayor Mike Kaufman plans to introduce a camping ban. Again, Denver 7's Veronica ACOSTA is here with us, and this obviously is not the first time he's proposed one, Veronica.
It's not. It's the second time Aurora Mayor Mike Kaufman is trying to introduce a ban like this one. The mayor first introduced a camping ban targeting the homeless. That was last summer, but it failed after the city council ended in a 5-5 tie, and that didn't just happen once. It happened twice. So at the time, Kaufman said he would not give up fighting for people, quote, fed up by what he called all the trash and the filth from these encampments. Councilman Juan Marcano, who voted against the proposal, responded to the mayor's statement on Twitter in August, writing, quote, I'm also fed up with the trash and filth, but more so about the continued lie. A ban would do anything about that. Kaufman says his new proposal requires the city manager to come up with a designated area or areas with a shelter option. It requires the city give a camp 72-hour notice before going ahead and removing that area. And the agenda for tonight's meeting shows the mayor's proposal coming up after multiple discussions with Aurora's homeless program manager. So just something to keep in mind as the day goes on. In studio, I'm Veronica ACOSTA, Denver 7.
All right, thank you, Veronica. You may remember about a year ago, Kaufman himself posed as a homeless person for a week. He stayed in shelters and encampments. Kaufman said he wanted to learn firsthand about the challenges people face. Later, he said he concluded living on the streets is a lifestyle choice, and he found drug use was common in the encampments. At least 3 Colorado cities have camping bans. Denver, Boulder, and Fort Collins all have faced court challenges. Let's take a look at Denver's timeline. Denver's council passed a camping ban back in 2012, 10 years ago. In May of 2019, Measure 300 asked voters to end the camping ban. That effort failed, but 7 months later, a judge ruled the ban unconstitutional. 9 months after that, an appeals court upheld the ban. Now fast forward to our last election in November. Ordinance 303 would have modified Denver's camping ban to require 4 designated camping sites, and also would have required the city to take action on an unauthorized camp within 72 hours of getting a complaint. A judge threw out the 72-hour rule just before the election, and voters turned the ordinance down. The overall camping ban remains in place.
It is now just about 6:10, and at the bus stop this morning, your kids are going to want a jacket, but they don't need to be as bundled up as they were last week. We're going to be at about 50 degrees, upper 40s, right around 50 by the time they get home this afternoon. So nice and mild today. Pretty mild, in fact, all week long. There's a slight chance we may see a little light snow Wednesday night. We'll talk more about that coming up after the break.
Our first highway crash of the morning is on the south side going north from Hamden to Yale. This is where the crash is. You can see the Denver Fire Department on scene too. The left lane is blocked up right now, and traffic is moving around around to the right to get around it right before the exit there at Yale. So a little bit of a slowdown coming up from 225 towards downtown by maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Not worth an alternate route just yet.
Oh, this is your friendly reminder. It's tax filing season. How you can make sure to get your refund as soon as possible. Plus,
I'm John Matteries. People everywhere are getting calls from the sheriff's department saying there's a warrant out for your arrest. What you need to do if you get one of these calls, coming up.